Okay, again, thank you for tuning in. This is Sharonda, and this is my YouTube video webinar for my daily readings, tarot card readings. So today I'm going to work with two of my cards, the Psychic Tarot deck and the AE Weight Tarot card deck. All right, just a moment. So let me proceed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Um, so I had an impression of a family member, distant family member that has come into place um earlier when I was, preparing breakfast. And I feel like this message is in regards to, I'm not quite sure, and let me proceed to take my glasses off. I'm not quite sure. Give me just a moment. Let me turn on some light for some lighting. Okay, so now I'm not quite sure if this family member who has passed on, if it's a message in regards to something that is similar to what happened to her, and this what this reading is going to reveal, or if in fact it's actually a message from her. So let me proceed with doing my reading, and then we will I will let you know. Okay. So I have the Solitude card. This is what the reading is on. The barrier, I have the crown chakra. The crown chakra, in regards to that. Um, this is what's blocking. This is what the issue is in regards to the crown chakra. Um, Above the situation, I show suffering and silence. Is what I have. Suffering and silence, in regards to um, a blockage or obstacle in regards to the crown. And those who may be out there tuning in, or will be tuning in or listening in, the crown chakra has a lot to do with um, the head region, particularly the thoughts. The thoughts. Um, so I feel as though um, it's something she's letting me know in regards to um, it may not necessarily be the thoughts, although of course the head area has a lot to do with the thoughts. Um, but in regards to this particular relatives passing, from what I was told, it was as a result of trauma to the back of her head. That's what happened with this particular family member. So I don't know if this is applicable to someone in regards to their passing, or the situation that she was in prior to her passing. So let's go ahead and get more clarity. I showed the root of the issue. I had a sacrifice card here. Sacrifice card. So she's letting me know that um so this is a personal reading, I feel. And I do feel like this is a question to someone who wanted to know and have validation in regards to her actual passing. Like, did she actually pass as a result of this? Um, as to what I was told, she says she wanted to know that she suffered and she was in pain. She suffered a lot of pain and agony, and not just physical pain, but emotional pain as well. It was a earning and it was a burning pain, like a deep rooted pain. Is what she wanted to be conveyed. That it was a not only pain from she suffered. In other words, she suffered um, in her life experience. She also suffered in her transition. That's what she wants me to, get out. Yes, I suffered in this life experience, and it was hard for me to make that transition because of, the life that I live, so to speak. Um, is what she wanted me to know. She also wanted to be known that, she died as a result of trauma. That is a confirmation. That's not a lie. It's confirmation that she died as a result of trauma. She said she was sick and tired of her situation, and she longed to be out of her situation. Like she antagonized the person that she was with. She antagonized him. She harassed him. She did whatever she could do to perpetuate this what occurred. And as I speak about her situation, somebody else just visited me not visited, but somebody else come into place as to this was applicable to this person's situation as well. And typically, when I get these readings, somebody will come to mind. Might not necessarily mean that that person is dead. It could be applicable to that situation, is what I'm getting at. Also, if somebody come into place, meaning somebody that has transition coming in, and then I would say, okay, this person has come into place as well. But I feel like this situation is applicable to someone who is alive. But as I mentioned, if it's somebody that is no longer here, then I will say, okay, somebody else has stepped in. And that's what this situation is applicable to. But she says that I longed to be out of my situation. Like I no longer wanted to be in my situation. I was full of anger and rage and just pain. She said I suffered pain all the time. And she's letting me know that it was something going on in her head. Is what she's letting me know. She said something was going on in my head, is what she says. And so I don't know if she suffered from some type of injury to the head. I do know in her passing it was by way of trauma to the head, but she says to me that it was something medically going on in her head that caused her a lot of pain. And, no one cared. Like, they acted as though, they was concerned. They was not. The only thing they used me for is is to um, they pretty much use me on display as if I was an exhibit, kind of like a cadaver in a morgue, so to speak. She said it was just like I was a cadaver, is what she is letting me know. Like they used me as if I was on display, similar to how a lot of the spirits, and I will put this into place as to what I'm speaking about, because God revealed to me that, you know, you know, I understand people are on this vegan, vegetarian type stuff, and I have suffered with, eating of red meat on and off. Like I'm not a big red meat eater, and I noticed when I began to incorporate those things into my diet, a lot of that stuff, a lot of my mental battles became came as a result of incorporating more red meat in my diet. Now I'm not judging anybody for what you choose to eat in terms of your diet, but this is what I noticed. So I had a revelation as I was getting up this morning, that as they feel, you feel, meaning they, meaning the animals, a lot of animals and things of that nature. And you will begin to understand that a lot of the things that you eat will permeate. That means it will become your energy force. The energy that was put towards the makings of this meal, you will take on those impressions. You will understand the feelings of those things. And so, um, that may not be apparent to everybody, but this is something that has come into my spirit as I'm sitting here today. Okay. Um, but fast forward back to the main drawing board. So she's letting me know that what happened with her was as a result of something going on in her head. It was something that she was experiencing that was neurological. I don't know, it was, she had seizures or something that was going on in her head regards to like some type of infection, but it was something brain related. It was something in relation to her head, neurological, that was going on with her, and she suffered tremendously. Something is telling me that it was um, migraines, but I feel like this was worst case scenario migraines. Like, just it was a gnawing suffering. And she tells me that they simply just was giving me stuff just to see um what my reaction would be to those things, is what she letting me know. Meaning there was no intention of treating me for what I was experiencing, is what it lets me know. She said I was simply a guinea pig, so to speak. Um, she also says that um, I wanted to move forward. I wanted to move forward. Um, she also mentions that um, I have the sacral chakra that just showed up here as well. Something in regards to the sacral chakra. Um, Give me just a moment. she's letting me know, um because I do have my sacral chakra over there, and trust and believe me, I don't remember all of the sacral chakra. I know the sacral area. I want to say it is in relation to the reproductive, as well as your um, um, spinal, like brain and spinal, as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty much a connection in between the two, with the crown as well as with the sacral, because it has a lot to do with the spine. So I honestly feel like it could have very well been meningitis or something along that lines. I can't say, but somehow they were not able to. They didn't think. She says they didn't think to test me for things such as that because um, they was focused on treating the pain, but that real issue, they were not. They were not. They overlooked the issue. Is what she's saying to me. She said they overlooked the real issue as to what was going on with me. Um, she said that, but my head hurt it all the time. It hurt it all the time to where I stayed sick. Is what she's letting me know. She said I stayed sick, and I stayed sick and tired. She said to even open my mouth hurted me so bad. My head hurt it all the time. That's what she said. Um, Destiny. So I have the attitude. She said this was my destiny. Like this is what I was brought here for. She said I was okay with that. She said because of the suffering that I felt and the agony that I lived, I realized that this was my destiny. Like this is what I was here for. Was to simply, and let me turn this around. Um, was to simply um, bring in awareness to the community as to how to treat certain conditions and as such. And I was totally fine with that. I was totally fine with that. Meaning um, my transition, although I suffered, but it was over. So she lets me know. Memories of love surrounded by. So she's letting me know that she did feel love at her service, like with the service that they have, the end of life service or funeral service. She said I felt like the people that were around me cared. They did. I do feel as though they cared and they loved me and they was concerned about me because they seen how I was in agony. They seen how um, I constantly was in pain. She said, so I do feel as though when they did have my service, that I was surrounded by people who really cared. Um, Disruption, which is card 9. She's also letting me know that um, it was something that happened at her service that was assigned to those who wanted to know um, if this was something that was done out of malice or if this something that was warranted, meaning if this is something that I wanted to happen versus being victimized. And she said it was something she did. And this is a distant relative. I was not at her funeral, so therefore I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going off of what presents to me and what the um, spirit presents to me. She said that at my service, I gave a sign, is what she says. I gave a sign to those around me. I don't know what sign it was, but she said I gave a sign to those around me to let them know that, yes, the person who took my life did take my life. And it appeared as though it was out of malice, but true and honesty, I wanted to be out of my suffering. And he did exactly what I wanted him to do. I wanted to go on. I wanted to transition on, is what I wanted. Is what she says. Because I just wanted to be out of my agony. And he did exactly what I wanted him to do. That's what she said. And I did suffer, but then I suffer no longer. That's what she says. But she said I did give a sign to those who was wondering, those looking in who was wondering. But those who know me knew that yes, she wanted this, meaning she wanted to transition over. So who will be the ones that will wonder and question? That will be the ones who don't know. So the signs that I give to those who don't know, who wasn't there, became apparent that yes, indeed, this is what this was. The outcome. Um, so the outcome to this situation is this. She's letting me know. She says, yes, it was under investigation. And the sign that I gave, she says it was somebody that was in law enforcement that wondered, you know, if this actually transpired because of malice or if this actually happened because of something that I wanted. And she said, so that sign was for that person, for him to know that, yes, indeed, this is what she wanted. She wanted to transition over. That's what that was. Does not mean that, he is not guilty of what he did. No. Um, as I sit here and I do these tarot card readings, somebody just stepped in. Somebody who has passed on just stepped in. Because I do feel like this situation is applicable to the situation that I just mentioned. However, it's in a different context, meaning based on the reports, it's similar, but it's in a different context, so to speak. Now leave it at that. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. She said yes. And this is a continuation. She says yes, this is how things happen. She says this is how we come into agreement. She said that is how the spiritual realm happens, as they said, when three are gathered in my name, meaning when three are in agreement, um, then that's when those spirits step in. And when I say spirits, in the physical sense as well as in the spiritual sense, meaning the physical sense are being inhabited by those spirits in the of the spiritual. In other words, one um, spiritual force manifests into our space, and they begin to what? They begin to defy the laws, as we know the laws may be, meaning the laws of nature and physics and science. And when it's time to transition, it will open up your eyes. Because I am considered an intuitive or psychic like, I can see into those realms because I have invited those spirits in, meaning I have opened up uh that avenue, if you may. Whereas many